It's a chilly day here at the bottom end of that place that is so much in the news these days. So to instill a happier disposition and lift the spirits a little bit, I think it's a fine time for sniffing some glue. Hey, if it's your first time here, welcome man. My name is Duff, as in difficult, except I'm not. And this is the Renobug project. It's a 1959 Renault 4CV body that I have now fitted to a shortened and customized Beetle floor pan. I'm building it for my wife. I also call her the swimbo. And yeah, I've been busy with it for quite a while. If you want to go check out other videos, there's a whole playlist on the playlist is called the Renobug. Bunch of videos there already. And I must say, I think I'm really pretty close to the end of it. Still a couple of things to do, but we're getting there. Hey, quick shout out to Colin Templar, who is our latest channel member. Colin joined as a Rat Rod Hero, which is the highest level we offer. I appreciate the support, man. It goes a long way towards helping me continue to make some videos for you guys. So I appreciate. Thank you, my brother. If any of you feel like additional support to the channel, just check out here below the video where we offer memberships, and you can click on the buttons there and have a look around. No obligation. Just watching my carrying ons helps a lot as well. Yeah, hey man, thanks to you watching right there, right now. I appreciate the support. The wifey has chosen this dark charcoal carpet for the interior. Now I do think it's going to look quite classy, but it's not something I would have chosen for any of my cars. I'm just too dusty and dirty for that, and not very good at keeping things clean. And I prefer something more practical, like this PVC floor tile covering I did in Flytrap. Hard wearing and practical, and I can pressure wash it if I want to.
Definitely not plush, luxurious trailer queen stuff, but man, hard wearing, practical, easy to clean, freaking bulletproof for sure.
So yeah, it will look classy, I reckon, but the wifey will be the one keeping it clean, not me. Previously, I built this plywood platform in the back of the Renobug. There's not going to be any seats, just a space for shopping and all the swimbo's furry children. If you want to see how I did this, there's a link here on the screen that you can click on. Check it out. I've already carpeted some of these panels. So with all this contact adhesive fumes floating around, I am already in a very happy space. So now of course with this stuff, if you touch these two surfaces together, you get an immediate bond. So to give myself a fighting chance, I'm just going to stick this piece of newspaper there. And then I can kind of just line it up first. How must it go now? Let me see. Yes, like this. Can line that up. And then I can now just make sure, yes, that looks good. There we go. That's it. Now I can just cut off my excess here. Right, I am back on planet Earth and all my pieces, maybe I'm not quite back on planet Earth yet. All my pieces are carpeted. Let's go see what goes on inside the Renobug.
Did you see that? A remarkable event, a rare occurrence in nature indeed. It's only a privileged few who've had the pleasure of seeing the deaf man using a vacuum cleaner and cleaning stuff. And I realize now that you haven't seen my sports brakes. Left wheel, right wheel, both wheels. It allows for some interesting maneuvers. So the plan is to carpet all of this, and I think I must make a start on that before I install my platformy thing. And I think I must do this section first. Now that's going to be a challenging business because this is a compound curve shape, and of course carpet can't stretch. So what do I know about the upholstery? But I'm just going to use the little bit of common sense that I have, hopefully. And I'm busy making a paper template. Just a piece of paper from an old calendar. That's where the picture comes from. Because I am too much of a miser to go and buy new cardboard. And my magnets, yeah, they're not really fancy either. That's from an old speaker that I just broke. That's why they've got a round shape in them. But they work well enough. So this piece of paper is going to actually now, it's showing me where to do these relief cuts to get my carpet to fit around this compound shape. And it seems to be working out, yeah, pretty well right now. So yeah, I think I can take it off now. And then we can open it up and then we see what that shape looks like. Yes. Let's do it. Yeah, there you can already see. Look at that. Those would have to be the relief cuts. I'm heating up here. I don't think it's got much to do with a change in the ambient temperature. More to do with my struggles. I'm marking it here with a piece of Boilermaker's chalk that seems to work alright there on this black carpet. Obviously this is the back. And I did remember to turn my template over. I don't know if this business is going to work. Well, that's one way to find out, eh? So mark this, cut it out. And then we shall see. So someone told me that you get a stretchable type of carpet, but that stretchable piece of carpet that I would need is a long way from here. And I want to try and get this done now. So I don't know. Let's see how this is going to turn out. I mean, at the worst, I stuff up a small piece of carpet that will not do the job. Could have been worse. If you don't try, you'll never know, right? Cutting it a little bit bigger here, because I think it's needed. Right, and now my relief cuts, my darts. I think the girls call it a dart when they make dresses. I don't know, maybe I'm talking nonsense. What do I know about these things? Right, there we have it. Now, let's go see if this is going to work. The moment of truth is close. Okay, so let's see how this is going to turn out. I wonder if the magnets will hold it in place. I brought a few more for my motley collection. So we will just see. Okay. Stick another one here. Another one here. Yeah. Now what's going to happen here? Here's this big fellow. He's not very strong, are you? Oh, look at that, eh? Fluff it a bit. Yeah, look, it's basically disappearing. And this one, I need to cut it just a little bit more. I think this is actually going to work. So to glue my piece of carpet on here, I want to experiment with a different type of adhesive, because my problem with the contact is once you touch, you're done. And I think I need a little bit of time to readjust my piece and make sure that it fits exactly the way I want it to fit. And with contact adhesive, that is very difficult. So I'm going to try this product here. It's called Patek's No More Nails. And they promise us that it basically bonds anything to anything except plastics, and then all the normal advertising blah blah, strong and easy, 70% stronger, blah blah blah. But what will it allow me is, I think, when I've applied the glue and I stuck my piece of carpet down, I will still have time to move it around a little bit. And that's exactly what I want. How well it's going to work, I don't know. We'll find out and see. You know, my back door is always, what's the worst that can happen? And that's just that it won't stick very well, and then we can go back to the drawing board, I guess. So let's see how it goes. So I've scratched the surface here with some coarse sandpaper just to key it a little bit. Now let's get this goop on here and see. I'm going to spread it out a bit like this with a, you call this thing a putty knife, I think, eh? Yeah, you know, just like putty knife, wooden handled putty knife you see right here. It's like most everything else in the shop. Quite old. So it's seen its fair share of work. I'm always amazed when I watch some of these YouTube videos and I see all the tools are brand new looking and pristinely clean and all that. I don't know how that works. I mean, I don't know, do those guys buy new tools all the time or spend half their lives cleaning and maintaining tools? I don't know how it works. Everything is so clean and perfect and spotless. Well, that's definitely not how it works in my shop. I'm just thinking now, you know, I've had this thing for at least 30 years, because I can remember a time when I was using this to mix up epoxies and all strange types of goo when I was building boats. Can you believe it? So at least you got to give me credit for looking after my tools in some sort of a way. Well, one thing I can say about this goop so far, it's definitely not as sticky as something like polyurethane, and it comes off your fingers very easily. I wonder what will clean it up. I'm thinking possibly water. Well, another advantage I suppose is you can easily see where you've applied it, being white on my black background. Right, so now let's see how this is going to work. Stick that on there. And you can see it sticks, but I can still move it around a little bit. Okay. See, for the sake of experimentation, let's just see. Yeah, you see I can still pull it off, but it is sticking in place. So I'm thinking, put it on with some magnets to help me hold it where I want it to be. And now, here, where I've made my relief cut, we can push it together and magically make it disappear. Stick another magnet on there. Now how about this one? Well, how about that, eh? So far so good. So if it sticks, then this has worked very well. Just going to read the label and see what they say, what the curing time on this is. It says right here on the cartridge, readjustment time, approximately 10 minutes, fully cured after 12 hours. So I'm going to leave the magnets on here, leave this alone until tomorrow, and then we can see if it falls off or not. So while I'm waiting for my adhesive to dry, let's get some of the sound deadening stuff into place. So this is not something I normally do on the cars I built. We just couldn't be bothered. But I suppose in this case, for the wifey, we like the car to be nice and comfortable and relatively quiet. Cheapskate that I am, I'm using Flash Harry's Alu Flash product. It's that bitumen aluminium tape that you use to waterproof roofs. Yeah, aluminium, bitumen, pretty much exactly the same thing as that way more expensive car sound deadening material, which is just quite a bit thicker. I don't know, this might be around 2 millimeters thick. I think that stuff is around 5 mil thick. So probably not as effective, but it's still gonna work. And the price is right. Only disadvantage is only 150 mil wide, 6 inches. So yeah, just lots of smaller pieces. Hey, it's better than nothing, okay? Plus, remember I'm going to stick carpet on top of this as well. So that's going to help as well. And I'm sure you can hear that makes a difference. Now of course, if you live in the first world, you can just click a few buttons and the real deal will arrive on your doorstep a couple of days later. Not so here in a land that has been systematically destroyed by that two-faced Frank and his cronies. You see, here in South Africa, we don't have a postal service anymore. Can you believe it? Yep, it's actually been bankrupted by those lying thieves posing as government officials. So we have to use expensive private couriers to move stuff around. And not only that, there are these heavy taxes on anything that gets imported as well. And to cap it all, the South African rand has pretty much become worthless because of the ridiculous economic policies of these morons. I mean, it's kind of in the region of, last time I checked, 19 South African rands to $1. I can remember the time when the South African rand was on par with the dollar, and actually at one point even stronger, somewhere in the 70s or the 80s, if memory serves. So you have to be a rich man to buy all the fancy stuff, and I'm not one of them. Oh, I remembered now, my daughter said I'm not allowed to talk about first world versus third world. It's supposed to be developed world versus undeveloped world or some bullshit like that. Well, you know what? I'm an old man. I think they call us baby boomers. I don't have time for that politically correct woke BS. So I will say first world, third world if I want. Sorry, my child.
And just to be clear, I'm not breaking my own rules here, just mentioning facts. I see now that I still have to run seam sealer here where the Renault body fits over the tunnel of the Beetle floor pan. So let's quickly get that done. Run a bit in there. And then also right here. Okay. And I'm going to use that notorious finger dipped in mineral tips to just smooth it out nicely and squeeze it in. I think that ought to do it.
The next day.
I glued in this one as well yesterday, and I tell you, I can report that that adhesive works very well. It's not going anywhere. I finished off the shiny stuff as well, and it looks quite snazzy, eh? I mean, all I have to do now is stencil Dynamat all over it, and it'll look like those fancy builds that you see out there. Yep, that's gonna do the trick. So I'm just making a paper template so that we can get some carpet on the back section here as well. So this looks good, so I can now use this to go and cut out the piece of carpet I need for gluing on here. Okay, let's see, just a quick dry run here to make sure it's all gonna work out. Yes, I think that looks pretty good. Yep, let's get some glue on here and stick this one in place as well. Hey, and check out my t-shirt. I finally got my own one as well. I think it's got a cool design. Thanks to my buddy Stefan. It's Stefan's Auto Art for the design. If you are interested in getting your own t-shirt like this, right below the video, you'll see the merch store. Go click there and page around and you'll find this design as well. If you're out here in South Africa, the easiest way is to go to the Petrolheads website. The link is up here on the screen. Click on that and you'll get sorted. I like it, I think it is nice. Guess I'm not a very good model. Wish I had a busty babe to model my t-shirts. Imagine that.
The next morning.
Okay, lekker man, so I've got all of this in place now. That is glued in. Looking Not too bad, I guess. So next for me is to get these pieces for the platform that I've already carpeted in place as well. So this one goes in like that. Already got the one on the other side in place. And now this piece must go in across like this. Yes, something to that effect. And I must just screw them together. So this bit of carpeting right here, I didn't glue in place so that I can first install my screws to hold these boards together right here on this corner. And then once I've got them in place, I can just glue this across like that. And then we'll have a trim piece running up here. Now, this board that goes across the top can hopefully drop into place like that. To keep the whole thing together, some screws through here. And here. Now where's my little screw? There we go. And then of course, all along here. Making progress, but yeah, just thinking of dogs and groceries and whatnot. I don't think this is going to stay clean and pretty for very long, but that's not my problem. I think the wifey will probably put an old blanket on here or something. What I'm going to do to make it more durable, if I can put it like that, is to actually edge this here and here with some aluminium angle bar to make this corner more hard wearing. This here is a 19 by 19 section, equivalent of 3/4 by 3/4, and I'm just screwing it into place with stainless steel countersink wood screws that I got at Mesco Engineering Supplies. Yeah, and actually the only reason why I like to go shopping there is because there's so many pretty girls working there. I lie. It's also because of the variety. Right. Not variety of girls, variety of fasteners. Right, let's get the one in place on this side. Ach no man, no, I've cut this thing too short. Damn. Must be all that talk of pretty flowers that befuddled my brain completely. Luckily I've got some more of this material, so I'll just go and cut another piece. It only needs to be longer by about, oh, I don't know, 15 millimeters or so. Okay, let's try again. Yeah. Ah yes, that is much better. Come on. Sometimes. Yeah, that one is messing me around. Let's try this one where I can actually hold the screw with my remaining fingers. So this lid drops in like that now. There we go. And I think this back part is done. I also think it didn't turn out too bad, if I can say so myself. So now I guess it's time to turn my attention to the front part of the car.
A few inches later.
So as you can see, I've been busy here for a while already. I've already been sticking some more of this shiny stuff all over the place. And I've started laying down carpet here on this integral channel right along here. Yeah, it's quite a unusual business, this. Yeah, it's an awkward setup and it makes the carpeting quite tricky. Here you've got this section, then here this integral channel structural member that's part of the Renault body, and then we drop down and then we have the floor there. So the only solution I can think of is to cover this beam in carpet that I've been gluing on, just like that. Which is a tricky business because of the curve here. So I have to do it in sections, and you can probably see the joints. But you know what? Once it's all said and done, in the big picture, I really don't think you will see this. And then with this little platformy thing that we have here, I've already made a paper template. It gets this shape. And then I've cut it out from carpeting, which can now drop in like that. And then this steel seam, what do you call it, running along here. I've got some of this very narrow, what shall you call it, the U-section rubber. And then the idea is to glue this on, if I can get it over here, come on. There we go. Yeah, to glue this on there, like that, which will clean it up, and will obviously also provide protection against wearing on that steel seam. We'll do the same here. I haven't got enough of the stuff at the moment, so I'm going to pick up some more. Yeah, and then I think it'll actually look quite smart. Time-consuming business, this, I'll tell you that. So yeah, for this section in here, I've also created a paper template to pick up the shape for the piece of carpet that I want to glue in here. I'll do a paper template for that side as well. So I can take this one out now and go and cut this out. Come on. There we go. And talking of time consuming, the paper template required here for this very unusual inner fender wall here. Oh, this is just ridiculous, man. But I guess it is what it is. I think I kind of got it together now. This is going to be a very strange shape. Of course, of all the compound curvature involved in this thing that Mr. Renault created. Well, They say the paper don't lie. So I'm going to cut out this weird shape and then we'll find out if that is true or not.
Well, I guess I need to cover this with the shiny stuff as well. I've done it everywhere else. So in spite of everything I said earlier, South Africa is still a great place to live and I will never leave here. Mild climates for the most part, beautiful scenery, amazing people, a lot of diversity here. You know, there's shit everywhere in the world. And just like any other place, there's some areas where you just don't want to live. And it's exactly the same here. So if you avoid the trouble areas, there's really some incredible places in South Africa. You know, I've traveled a lot in my time. And I've lived in a number of different places. Brazil, Caribbean, even stayed in the US for about a year. But I came back to Africa. There's some things that there's something about Africa that you just don't find anywhere else. And one of those things is that we still have the freedom here to do stuff that you can't do in places like Europe, for instance. Not anymore. The world has changed. You know, I've said for quite a long time, within chaos is freedom. And I think it holds now more true than ever. And that worked for me. So yeah, you got to pay the price in certain instances, but you gain other benefits. Like they say, there's a snake in every paradise.
Yeah, many things I can still tell you, but I waffle on too much. So let's see if this is going to work out. Just stick some magnets on here to start. And yeah, well, let's see. I think it's going to work. With a little bit of fine-tuning and squeezing and pulling. Yep, it's going to do the trick.
Much later.
Making progress. I've got all the carpeting here in the firewall footwell area in place. More shiny stuff here on the floors, here on the tunnel. So now we've got repurposed roof sealing tape pretty much everywhere. More paper templates to cut out the pieces for covering the tunnel. And the tunnel is done as well. So these pieces in the back here are glued on, but this piece is loose because I want to be able to get in here to service clutch cables, accelerator cables, etc. So I'm considering to come up with an idea to hold this piece into place so it doesn't move around, and yeah, you know what I'm saying. And here's my solution. Piece of aluminium flat bar that I painted black. Obviously I painted as well. Some stainless steel self-tapping screws. Screw it into the tunnel. And that piece of carpet is held in place. It won't slip and move. But if I want to remove it, I can just undo the 3 screws and take it out to get access. And then the last thing, the piece that needs to go in there. I also made a paper template for that one. And here it is. And that's gonna drop in right there. So I don't think I'm going to glue this one so that you can remove it for cleaning and so on. You might have to, in fact that's probably a very good idea, is to hem the edges. Now in my little sewing machine I do not think it will stitch through this carpeting. So I'm gonna have to find someone that can possibly help me to do that. But yeah, I think it'll do for now. Just gotta push it nicely into place. Well, I do believe this dirt trap layer is now fully applied, and I can now stress about keeping it clean until I hand it over to the swimboat. And then it's going to be her problem. Yeah, some people seem to think I'm being nasty or something when I refer to my wife as the swimbo, which of course is an acronym for she who must be obeyed. Well, just for the record, not so. I mean, I ask you with tears in my baby blues, would I be building a complete car from scratch if I didn't love the old girl very much? And I always remember, if it was not for her, I would not be here today. Yeah, not too shabby for an old greybeard fabricator all alone in a forest workshop, I reckon. It turned out quite nice. I'm actually quite proud of myself. Now they say the show's not over until the fat lady sings, and we do need seats. Now these are the original Renault seats. Where are you? Can you see me? And as far as I'm concerned, they're perfectly serviceable. And they sit well, yeah, but why do I get this very strong feeling that the swimbo will not be sharing that opinion? So I guess I'm gonna have to get these reupholstered or make a plan here. But yeah, that's a story for another time, eh? Okay, let me see if I can get my old bones in here. Here we go. Hey, this is not going to be a permanent interior light, okay? Hey, listen, thanks for hanging out with me. This is Duffy signing out from the land where a delusional two-faced frog with the name of Cyril is busy seeing his ass.
Whatever makes you happy, it just depends on you.
Oh, there's a screw.